Australian cricket doesn't naturally produce long-term off-spinners. It produces fast bowlers,
Got him! He gets him again!
wrist spinners of rare genius,
That's the real art of leg spinning.
and a long list of short-term stopgaps when conditions demand something different. Lyon entered this system without pedigree, without mystery, and without any hype or backing.
It's been a Nathan Lyon. He's improving every test match.
Despite this, he's now finishing his 15th year of Test cricket with the nickname the GOAT and sitting in second position all-time on Australia's leading wicket takers list in Test cricket. So I'd say things have worked out alright for Nathan. Lyon's early years in cricket were unremarkable in the conventional sense. Raised in young New South Wales, he was not a standout junior, nor did he dominate age group cricket in ways that demanded attention, like his fast bowling counterparts Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins. His development was practical rather than spectacular. When playing opportunities didn't come quickly, he worked, quite literally, at the Adelaide Oval. Lyon was employed as a groundskeeper and spent his days preparing pitches and his nights bowling spin. Groundsmen learn how surfaces change, how cracks form, how grass coverage affects bounce, and how footmarks develop across 5 days. Lyon learned cricket from the ground up, and it gave him a unique edge which barely any other cricketer has. Lyon's path to the pros was anything but conventional. Aged 23, he was juggling life as a groundskeeper at Adelaide's Karen Rolton Oval with intentions of breaking to South Australia's second 11, often flying interstate to play 4-day matches before returning straight to work. He prepared pitches by day, stuck into the nets whenever he could, and kept grinding without fuss or entitlement. His domestic breakthrough came in what can be seen now as most ironic of ways. Nathan Lyon, the Test great, was initially recognised after solid early showings in the Big Bash, where his performances forced selectors to take note.
It's 5 wickets for Nathan Lyon, 5 for 23.
That surge carried him quickly into South Australia's first-class side, and remarkably, into a Test squad for Sri Lanka after just 4 first-class matches. On Shield debut for South Australia, he picked up 6 wickets for 200 runs,
Harris is out. Lyon gets the breakthrough.
particularly impressing in the first innings, claiming 4 for 81 in 26 overs. Despite his fairy tale start to professional cricket, South Australia chose not to offer him a contract. Luckily for Lyon, his home state was more than happy to take a punt on the former groundskeeper and offered him a contract. He stayed a New South Welshman ever since. Test debut in 2011 in Sri Lanka came far earlier than anyone, including himself, could have expected.
Oh, and he's got a wicket back ball. What a start to a career these two are having.
Australia searching for answers threw Lyon into the fire of international cricket, hoping he would be their next spark. Predictably, during those early years, there were ups and downs. A key point to remember with spinners though is that they only improve with age. Lyon's 2011 and 2012 seasons showed a bowler learning on the job, but still performing very well.
In the air. Oh, what a catch. Well, that's 5 wickets as well.
In 2011, he took 23 wickets at an average of 27. In 2012, despite taking 36 wickets, his average increased to 33. He was useful, but not yet feared. He lacked the control at the international level to dictate terms, and batters often tried to take him down because they weren't afraid of him getting them out.
Oh, Joffre's gone for a biggie.
The first significant turning point came not through a single spell, but through endurance. Australia stuck with Lyon. It's truly a credit to Cricket Australia, who've done it with so many of their young spinners. 2 more examples that come to mind are Shane Warne and Adam Zampa. With the backing of Cricket Australia, Lyon bowled through criticism, bowled through form dips, and bowled through matches where conditions offered him little. By 2013, something began to click though. His accuracy improved, his confidence grew, and his understanding of pace through the air became more refined.
Got him. That's him. He's gone.
That year, he took 42 wickets, a clear sign that he was no longer merely holding up an end. The 2013-2014 Ashes marked Lyon's first true establishment as a frontline Test bowler. He finished that series with 19 wickets and repeatedly broke partnerships at crucial moments, improvements further emphasised by a strike rate of 55. What stood out was not just the turn, but bounce. Lyon learned to exploit Australian surfaces by bowling with overspin and subtle pace changes, dragging batters forward and letting the bounce do the work.
And that's in 5 for Nathan Lyon.
His knowledge of surfaces and conditions from his days curating pitches was starting to pay dividends, as he understood how he needed to bowl to be successful. From that point onwards, he wasn't just competing for a place in the team, he was part of the structure. His growth between 2014 and 2016 was steady rather than spectacular. The numbers tell that story. In 2014, his average climbed above 43, a reminder that development is rarely linear. But rather than reinvent himself, Lyon refined his bowling. He adjusted his lengths, improved his use of the crease, and began reading batters rather than reacting to them.
He's improving every test match.
By 2015, he'd taken 48 wickets in that calendar year at under 29 apiece. In 2016, another 41 wickets followed. Each time his effectiveness dipped, he just went away, worked on a skill to counteract the problem, and bounced back a better player. In 2012, he went away to work on his seam position in a bid to get more overspin and extract more bounce from pitches. Then in 2014, he learned to vary his angle on the crease, starting to deliver from wider of the stumps and starting to bowl from around the wicket to right-handers. He also learned how to adjust his lines and started pitching the ball further outside the line of off-stump to let it spin back and hit the wickets.
Knocked him over through the gap.
By the time he'd come through to the start of the 2017 season, Lyon had half a decade of experience under his belt in Test cricket and was starting to break out as the skilled wicket-taking threat Australia always hoped he'd become.
Oh, brilliant.
That season stands out as the clearest indicator of when Lyon transitioned from reliable to dominant. He played 11 tests, took 63 wickets and averaged just over 23. His 8-for in Bengaluru against India wasn't just his best figures in Test cricket, but a statement of control in conditions hostile to Australian spinners. He bowled with discipline, attacked the stumps relentlessly, and refused to chase extravagant turn, instead using his angle and bounce.
Right through his defence.
Indian batters, accustomed to dominating visiting spinners, were forced into mistakes by pressure rather than deception.
So 8 for Nathan Lyon.
That series in India reshaped Lyon's entire reputation. He was no longer viewed as a spinner who worked only in Australian conditions. He was recognised as a genuine, out-and-out test match bowler. His success stemmed from the clarity of role. He bowled to fields, trusted his lengths, and accepted that wickets would come from patience. From that point onward, Lyon entered his prime. Between 2017 and 2019, he was Australia's most reliable bowler across all conditions. In 2018, he took 49 wickets, and in 2019, another 45. His Ashes performances in England in 2019 were particularly revealing. He took 20 wickets in the series and was involved in nearly every decisive phase, sometimes not the way he'd like to be remembered, but I digress. His dismissal of Joe-rooted Lords through the gate showcased his ability to drift the ball subtly, while his spells at Headingley demonstrated his willingness to attack even when conditions offered little. By now, Lyon's greatness is recognised as his repeatability. He bowls quality ball after quality ball, waiting for something to bite, whether it's the surface or the batter, and when this happens, he knows he's in business.
Bowled in.
Batters cannot simply outweight him, because he's always at you, always asking questions of you, and if you're static, eventually this consistency will get you.
Beautifully done.
Statistically, Lyon's career arc reflects that consistency. From 2015 onwards, he rarely dipped below 40 wickets in a calendar year. Even in disrupted seasons like 2020, where he played just 3 tests, he took 14 wickets at under 19 apiece. His longevity is staggering, and year after year, he bowls hundreds of overs, often carrying the spin workload alone. His ability to bowl into the footmarks created by the Aussie quicks became a hallmark of their attack. Australia's fast bowlers attacked knowing Lyon would maintain pressure, and Lyon attacked knowing mistakes would follow. That synergy elevated Australia's bowling unit and allowed them to remain balanced across conditions. Along with Cummins, Stark and Hazelwood, they formed one of the most formidable and destructive quartets of all time. In Sri Lanka in 2022, he was outstanding on turning tracks, taking 11 wickets in 2 tests, including a match-winning spell in Galle, where Australia secured a rare away series win. Later that year against the West Indies at home, he dominated a spin-friendly Perth surface with 6 for 128, controlling the game while the quicks rotated around him. His impact sharpened further in 2023. During the Sportica Trophy in India, Lyon again led Australia's attack, taking 22 wickets, including a crucial 8 for 126 in indoor, helping Australia secure a rare test win on Indian soil. In the 2023 Ashes, before injury cut his series short, he was central to Australia's control of the first test, taking 9 wickets at Lords and breaking key partnerships before his calf strain shifted momentum.
Oh, and gone!
He followed that series with strong returns in the Pakistan Tour of 2023-2024, where he took 16 wickets across the series, exploiting variable bounce and closing games efficiently once cracks appeared. Over the last 3 years, the pattern is clear. Lyon has been Australians' closer. When fast bowlers soften surfaces and games drift, he steps in to finish innings off. His numbers since 2022 reflect his role of dominance, but the series context where he's dominated matters more, repeatedly winning matches for Australia in spells in Sri Lanka, India, England and Pakistan. Far from fading late in his career, Lyon has become more authoritative, more trusted and more central to Australia's success.
Beautifully bowled.
This context makes his recent omission from the second Ashes Test all the more striking. After over a decade as Australia's first choice spinner, Lyon was left out, not due to form but due to conditions. As far as I'm concerned, this was a huge mistake. When picking your best test side, you should always pick your best players first, and then you can worry about the conditions and who else to slot in later. But you can't tell me that Lyon isn't one of Australia's best test players. When he came back into the test side for the third Ashes game, he proved why he's the GOAT, taking 2 crucial wickets early on to surpass Glenn McGrath on Australia's all-time wicket-taking list and moving into second place behind only Shane Warne. Nathan Lyon's career is the ultimate case study in persistence. From a groundskeeper overlooked by his state to one of the most durable, reliable and successful off-spinners the game has ever seen, he earned everything the hard way. Across conditions, eras and formats, Lyon just didn't survive, he adapted, endured and is now dominating. Coming to the end of his career, he isn't just remembered as a late bloomer or a feel-good story, but as an all-time great who's repaid the early faith instilled in him by Cricket Australia and reshaped what longevity and consistency look like for a modern test spinner.